Yes.
Spelled
Shall we go
B-E-E-R.
Shall we go live then?
Yeah.
Okay, going live.
Okay.
It says we're going live, but nothing much happening.
Well, it probably will.
And we are live. There you have it. It took a little bit of time.
Well, it does.
Hi there, good
on
people.
a lag.
It's a lot of lag, though, I have to admit. Everyone, welcome to our
It's an old lag.
newest.
A lag is a nickname for a prisoner in Britain.
Right. Okay, I'm going to take that up as a fact. Anyway, welcome, people. Welcome to the new Hangout settings of YouTube, where they don't like people to have it easy, so they kind of figure a way around that. So now we're broadcasting over OBS, which basically means we have a 20-second delay, roughly. But welcome. Hi there, Jimmy Stifffinger. Hi there, Michael Keller. Hi there, Daisy Pumpkin. You guys were here before we even went live. And hi there, Warped Reflection. Cool to see you. If you have any criticism on the way the thing looks, by all means, point it at John. That's unfair of me. John has been kind enough.
I don't care. I've got broad shoulders. I'm not going to pass the buck for every technical difficulty.
In all fairness, the fact that the reason.
How do you have a Pornhub link on your desktop? It's not his desktop, it's my desktop.
Yeah, I have no idea. No, I've seriously though. I'm going to try to go to. I'm still broadcasting though, aren't I? Why am I still broadcasting?
What do you mean?
Because I'm. If I look at. Okay, right. No, never mind. I'm trying to look at the difference between how fast things are going, because I have the YouTube create a studio blah 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 thingy open, but I kind of also want to try to open my actual broadcast so that I can see how fast things are going, because reasons. It's a little bit messy, but I have the feeling that we have to do. I want to learn all new things now, because it is kind of weird to look at the difference. There you go.
Stop fiddling with your audio settings, Modwayne. You had it working fine.
Yes. I know. So, but yeah, the good thing is that I can see what's going on in the Hangout because of YouTube, and YouTube is telling us that there are 5 people watching at this very point in time. Though at the same time there are 6 concurrent viewers. I have no idea how this works. It's not important though. Today we're going to talk about identity politics. Now usually I say we wait a little bit before people show up, but in all fairness there are people here already. And why do I get this? Fuck that. I actually got a message that Michael Keller said something. He said, "What the fuck?" Whether I wanted to hide it or show it.
Yeah. I got the same thingy. It's a bit like bolting the stable door. No, closing the stable door if the horse is bolted. Because you've read the message, what the fuck, and then you've got to decide whether your sensibilities are too delicate to see the message. But you've just seen the message.
But will that message not come in the normal chat until after we say, okay, we can show it? Or does it?
No, because I saw it too in just my bog standard viewing stream window.
Yeah, in that case, I'm closing my box standard reviewing screen channel, which means that I've lost a viewer.
Yeah,
the stupidity of YouTube. Oh crap! Fucking YouTube shit. They can't stick their newspeak. You know what? I'm going to give you how do you call it? Moderator status, Michael. Let's see if it's still.
Oh, don't give
bitches
him
and
it.
moans.
He gets snarky when you give him.
Well, I can always take it away.
They gave it to him on Honey Badger Radio, and there's me saying, "Well done, Michael. Good for you, Michael." And he got butthurt at every left, right, and turn, and kept claiming I was attacking him, which I was not.
Hola, Mycroft. Welcome to our slowest ass.
No, to our technical difficulties. Old farts edition.
Technical this. Well, Michael tried to use a few uncouth words. See if it's different now.
That's all right.
I will take it away in a moment if you really want to, Michael. Don't worry. No. The point I'm trying to prove. Not so much trying to prove.
See, I told you he didn't want it. I wasn't being mean.
No. I'm not. I'm going to take it away in a moment. Don't worry. But what I want to find out is if you use uncouth language whilst being a wrench, will it then do the same thing?
Well, we'll soon see. I've just typed a message. Sorry.
I don't want you to type it. I want him to type it.
Well, I've got a wrench. I'm just viewing it as a viewer. It doesn't know. My YouTube window does not know that I'm a participant in the stream.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
No, Jimmy's overburdened with wrenches because he's one on V's stream, and if to my mind that is much more. You know, I mean, like on our little streams with like 7 or 8 watching, being a moderator isn't really an effort. When there's 1,000 people watching and commentating, I can imagine it being really bad.
Don't worry, Michael Keller. You're no longer wrenched. It was just a test. Feeling much better now.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I mean,
and not to see what Reflection has truly got into the Australian spirit of things.
Well,
just sounds.
We're not talking about lesbians today. Right?
Half of my room's roof came down. For real?
What happened, Michael?
He lives in Switzerland. I'm sure there's something the Swiss do that's just not normal.
Oh, it's not because I took away the wrench. I'm not willing to believe that.
No, it's not that. It might be the swearing. Yes, I know, Jimmy. I said you were a wrench of these, and I was saying that's much, much harder than being a wrench, say, here, where, frankly, we don't give a monkey's what people say. And we don't invite that sort of person who'd say things we would actually mind anyway.
No, I mean, here you can say whatever you want as long as you can back your points.
Jimmy Stiffy,
even if
lesbians
yes,
show
because of
hide.
Actually, give that option. I didn't see that option. How did half of the roof came down though? That's I'm sorry to hear that, Michael.
Maybe it was a Swiss earthquake, polite and quiet. Well, you tell us, Mycroft, how the new stream stuff's working, because we just are winging it. About 5 minutes practice yesterday on OBS and Discord.
Yeah.
That's how we're doing it.
Yeah.
Which is why you've got a desktop, because the desktop is just something as a static image while nothing else is happening.
See, now this is something I enjoy. Thank you, Daisy, for trying to bring it on topic. It's a hint to us, I guess.
No. I think I was thinking along the same lines, but I wasn't thinking along the lines of what she's saying, because I don't agree identity politics ever served a useful purpose.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to agree with that on with John, because I don't think identity politics ever did anything good to anyone. Because the main thing identity politics does is saying, okay, what you might do is wrong, but because it's you doing it, we're going to be okay with it.
It's fundamentally discriminatory.
And this is, in all fairness, this is why I've always been railing against tolerance, because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think the word tolerance is useful in this situation, though, Modern, to be honest, because it's too vague.
Oh, fair enough that it's vague, but this is what tolerance often means to people.
Well, yes, and things often mean things to people, but it doesn't mean that you can have a meaningful discussion when people also fundamentally disagree with that meaning. Anyway, I would like to introduce tonight's stream before we actually get into the middle of it, seeing as I suggested the topic, and I did so because of a personal an incident that happened to somebody, which I can attest to as the most reliable of sources. Unfortunately, I have been asked to be very coy about any identifying details. So I will be vague, but give you all the details. So it involves a young woman and her husband. The young woman, I will say, appears of European origin, perhaps. The young man is an Asian gentleman. They are married, and they have gone to the big city, one of the world's biggest, most important cities. And while there, a stranger, a gentleman of colour, came up to the young lady, spat in her face, and called her a cracker. Now, the problem is that this young woman is half something else. Half a protected minority. Now, my attitude is that shouldn't matter as to how appalling this is as an action, but the fact that the action was done through a misidentification just gives the lie to the whole Asian. Someone born in East Asia, of East Asian parents. What reflection? Can I clean up my desktop? Fuck off, Mycroft.
East Asia, isn't that like Pakistan or something like that?
No, East Asia, China, Korea, Thailand.
Oh, right.
Laos.
Okay, yeah,
Vietnam.
I'm not that topographically inclined, so that's
the East. And you've got Central Asia or South Asia, which is India and Pakistan, and the stands above the other stands, Afghanistan and Kazakhstan, and then you've got West Asia or the Middle East.
Ah, okay. Hi there, Ronavasio, by the way.
Well, no, you're all right to eat them. You're just not allowed to be one. Bradford.
So anyway, continue with your story, mate. Sorry.
Yeah. So no, but that was the point. The point is a stranger goes up and assaults, because spitting someone is a vile assault.
It is an assault, yeah.
No, it's not just an assault. It's a vile assault.
Yeah, fair enough. But in the eyes of the law, it is assault.
Yeah, I said, but it's vile. That's my opinion. It is vile. It is disgusting.
Yes, your opinion is it's vile, but in the eyes of the law, it is assault.
Yeah, therefore it's a vile assault. Thank you. Stop arguing. And the point is this person felt entitled to assault a stranger, but the basis of their assault wasn't even valid. Because the person assaulted wasn't the purebred person of European origin they were taken to be.
Yeah.
And as I say, this doesn't, in my mind, in any way lessen the unjustifiable nature of the assault. But the mere fact that it wasn't even done on grounds legitimate to the person making the assault.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem, Mycroft, is identity politics is also Nazism. So whether you want to call Nazis neo-Marxists, I don't know. But the alt-right and all the ethno-nationalists are also identity politician peoples. We are meaning any set of political beliefs based on people's innate identities. Because it's all bad, and I don't care whether you're but we only want it for equality, or we are the master race. None of it is excusable.
But that's the thing with identity politics as such. I mean, it basically says one set of rules for me and one set of rules for thee.
It says it's not. Equality is about there are actions which are allowed and prescribed. And everyone should be treated the same with respect to that. Whereas under identity politics, it's all about who you are, not what you do. So you can do X if you're this. I mean, the classic example was that woman who got the prize for the man-spreading chair. Now you notice that everyone talked about the man-spreading chair, and no one talked about the fact that she then made a woman-spreading chair to go with it. Because if it was merely to criticise men for spreading their legs when they sat, that wouldn't be very good, but you could understand it. But she hypocritically then made a chair for women so that they could spread their legs. So it's not the spreading their legs that mattered. It was who was doing it that mattered.
Yeah.
And that's
but
politics.
I still stand by my observation that what we think is the male and female chair should be swapped around. Because
I'm not disputing that, mate.
Obviously.
I'm not disputing that. That's not my point. I'm talking about the creator's intent. And as far as I'm concerned, she utterly undermined her own case by making the woman chair.
Yeah, but I mean, she made the woman she made the man chair as an argument.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That alone undermines everything she said.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You could...
That's what I said.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah,
well,
I identify as a Trumpkin. Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna make a woman's chair. Then it's gonna have two seats, one for the woman and one for her bags, and then we can have that to start a conversation on women spreading. How's that?
Yes. That's actually very correct. The difference is that when men spread, it's still one body, but women do tend to put bags next to them in trains and buses and whatnot. Now, the argument people used to make is that women do this because they're afraid that a strange man would come sit next to them. This was actually an argument for a while, but no one thinks of it like that anymore. Now they're basically saying, well, no, women do that because otherwise men spread.
No, women do that because they're selfish cows. Not women, but the women who do it are selfish cows.
The women who do it, yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I mean, we have that one example, don't we, of the woman telling another woman, it wasn't a man, telling another woman she didn't want her sat next to her.
You broke up. Are you still there, John?
I am.
Okay, because your sentence ended abruptly, so I didn't hear the last bit of your sentence.
Oh, I don't know why. I don't know
Yeah,
if the
that's
stream heard it. It could be just Discord playing up. We
Anyway,
get that on the
we're
honey
gonna-
badgers. They have Discord problems, so the people in the stream can't hear. But the stream, because it's come from my computer, goes out fine. That could happen.
Well, it's something we'll have to pay attention to the future. I woman spread with sandwiches and ribbons. A ribbon
Ribena.
there.
Ribena.
Okay, well, sandwiches I understood.
Ribena is a British drink made of blackcurrants.
Well, why would you spread drinks?
No, she's saying that's her lunch. She's got sandwiches and Ribena. That's her lunch. And so she's woman spread with sandwiches and Ribena. I got it, Daisy.
Oh,
Don't you
okay.
worry. These foreigners with their funny ways.
Right. It's my old age then, I guess.
No, it's your funny foreign customs.
No renovatio. No. We already have a seat made for women. It's called the ejector seat. No. I want hereby to say to everyone, I didn't laugh because I thought it was funny, but I laughed because I was anxious. Yeah, anxious is a good word. So when people say, haha, he laughed because he said the women should sit on injector seat. No, that was me laughing.
Is this your attempt to... That's not very inclusive. Mycroft.
V is the best.
Oh, it's... No, hang on. It's not very inclusive.
It's not blackcurrants, it's currants.
But that's Renovatio. It's Mycroft Holmes who's saying it's not very inclusive. But he didn't say what's not very inclusive.
Oh. Is this the future though? Is this the future of identity politics? You can't say it's something black because
foreigners
not.
Well,
that's funny enough.
Oh,
though,
no. Of course, it's not very inclusive. That's why we have countries and passports and borders.
Which is kind of funny, by the way. It's slightly off topic, but now Europe is being berated, or rather, the people in Europe that want their European borders reinstated are being berated for being racist and phobes and all sorts of words because they close the borders. Trump is being berated because he wants to close the border.
Mm-hmm.
Turkey is not being berated because they want to close the border with Syria.
Well, of course not, because they're people of colour.
Well, it gets funnier than that. Ghana actually closed their borders with Congo. And they're actually surveilling their borders very strongly. No one from Congo is allowed into Ghana at the moment. I haven't heard anyone complain about that.
The sand knee grows.
Remove the sand knee grows.
Your concentration camp. You mean in America? Only in New York, apparently. Because the only person who sees them is Ocasio-Cortez.
But how weird is it if you have concentration camps that people are actually breaking the law to actually get there?
Yeah.
I never heard any story about communistic or Jewish people in Nazi Germany doing everything they can to be captured.
No, it's not even that. And it is a sad fact that we British invented the concentration camp in southern Africa in the Boer War. And they were not nice places. So, you know, even when they did not deliberately set out to exterminate the inhabitants, they tended to have that as a side of kind of unfortunate side effect. So I have to.
Yeah, I'm going to say that the concept of concentration camps are older.
Yeah, we're British. We invented them.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're even older than the Boer Wars. I'm not saying you didn't
Well,
invent
the
them.
history I was taught, we were credited,
Because,
blamed. I think is the right word there. Blamed.
but didn't they do the same with the Irish?
No.
I thought I read somewhere they did, but okay, I could be wrong. But yes, indeed, Jimmy, Congo has an Ebola outbreak, and therefore it's completely okay for Ghana to close their borders. And in all fairness, let it be said right here, right now, I don't care whatever excuse a country has to close its borders.
Yeah.
I am not the one to say they're not allowed to do it because they're a sovereign country. That's the whole bloody thing about sovereign countries. They have borders, they have control over them. But the funny thing is that when America says, oh, I want to close my borders, no, you can't do that. The fact that Mexico wants to close their borders for Guatemalans, no one talks about. But as soon as America wants to close its borders for Mexicans or Guatemalans, to be honest, that come in illegally, not even legally, then yeah, no, that's a problem. Ghana is now closing the borders for everyone. There is no legal or illegal.
No, I mean
no
that's part
entering.
of being a sovereign country. You are entitled
Yeah.
to close your borders if you want.
But in light of our discussions of identity politics, this is a very good example of how there's a different set of rules. I mean, America isn't allowed to do that because we want America to be open to everyone, but then everyone else is allowed to do the very same thing because, well, obviously.
Well, no, I mean, just remember, Trump is bad for anything and everything he does. Doesn't matter if reports come out describing Baltimore as a shithole. That's fine. It's only when Donald Trump mentions the fact that suddenly everyone gets upset.
It's brilliant because I've actually seen clips, and I know a lot of people have seen these by now. That how do you call it? The mayor of Baltimore is actually out on the street talking how she can smell the rats. And I'm like, I know, I live in a city myself, and we have a few uncouth places which are not in the city but are close to the city.
Sorry.
And
Mycroft Holmes criticised me for my jibe at foreigners and has now typed Dutch aren't people. Bloody hypocrite.
No. He is somewhat correct. We're above that.
Yeah, I'm not sure he means it in that direction, but yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
the point is,
I think he should.
Going back to the topic of identity politics, we all have many identities as people, some of which shift through our lives. So, for instance, when you're born, you're a son or a daughter. And you might be a sibling, a brother or a sister. And then as you get older, you may become a parent.
Yeah.
Or even without becoming a parent, you become an uncle or an aunt. And so forth. These are just some roles you have. Yeah. And these roles are influential in relation to other people. And so when people talk about, oh, your identity, they only pick certain identities, not other identities. And it all seems very suspicious to my mind, which identities they pick. Because often our lives are shaped more by the ones they don't mention than the ones they do.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm laughing because of Jimmy Stiffing.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
But I totally agree with what John just said, though that wasn't as funny.
Sorry.
No, that's what I totally agree with that. And to think that you are confined to one identity, I never understood that people allow themselves to be confined to one identity.
Or for instance, right? So one of the things that the intersectionalists bang on about is your sexual identity and heterosexual privilege, or whatever they call it. Well, and it's true, because if you're a heterosexual person, that's just assumed, if you know what I mean. And if you're gay, it's like for the longest time it was illegal or you had to fight for it. But equality means that they can just be without we know you do, Ludicrous. That that they can just be. And so that someone isn't gay, it's just something they are. It's not what it's something they have, that it's just a characteristic, not their identity.
Now, this is something I try to explain to people as well, because especially, if we look at gender dysphoria is basically the epitome of identity politics. No, I'm this gender. No, I'm that gender. And this is something I've said many a times, and unfortunately I have, in my work setting, met people with gender dysphoria in the past, and I'm not trying to blame these people, but there's a reason they are troubled. Because basically they're being told that their identity must become narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower until it's only something like as binary as your identity. And yes, I still call identity binary. Fuck it to those people who disagree with me.
There's two sexes.
Yeah,
only
I know.
Two sexes.
I'm sorry, but if you identify as dragonkin, I laugh at you.
Yes, but you're still a male dragonkin or a female dragonkin. I don't care what you want to claim.
Male dragonkin. John, honestly. But the funny thing is...
No, but this is the point, because the big argument is sex is not gender, right? Fine. Yeah. There are two sexes. I don't care how many genders there are. Okay? You go off and be snowflakekin. I don't care. But you're still a male snowflakekin or a female snowflakekin.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, my good friend. That's absolutely brilliant. But you are correct. But the funny thing is, or the dangerous thing is, if we look, going back to gender dysphoria, for example, if you talk to someone who suffers from gender dysphoria and you ask them who they are, the first thing they will tell you, or the second thing, or the third thing, but hardly ever anything after that, is what kind of gender they are. And why is this a problem? Because their identity is basically so narrowed down that they don't even have one. See, the thing is, if you look at yourself, look at the mates you have. If you are being asked, who are you? Describe yourself in 5, 6, 7 sentences. Most of us won't even mention that we are hetero or homosexual. Well, maybe homosexual, but probably not. That we are male or female. These are things we probably won't even mention because those are, well, they're private. I don't have to tell you that I'm gay or not, because
it's irrelevant
in any way. Yeah, but to these people, it's everything. And if you don't recognize that in them, they don't exist. Which is damaging to our society, that we give these people so much leeway, to be honest. But it's sad.
Well, look on the bright side. If anyone ever, and it's never happened to me, but if anyone ever says, I need you to use my pronouns, you say, okay, but not talking to you. And if they go, well, why won't you use my pronouns? You can say, because you don't use people's pronouns to them, only about them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not
and
going
then
to
you
talk...
don't have to use their pronouns, but they'll never know because you aren't talking to them.
Yeah. It's not as if I'm talking with... Yeah, it's not as if I'm talking with someone and then I'm going to that person as in... Well, I mean, I could say you to that person because you don't like something like, hi, John, how was your day? But not, hi, John, how was him's day or hers day or theirs day? Or...
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
No.
Then again, my pronoun is master. I've made a video about this a long time ago. My pronoun is master. So, to make it easier for everyone.
Yeah, I agree, Renovatio. They're very different things.
But this is the funny thing, Renovatio. I know a lot of gay people who absolutely hate LGBTQ.
Mm-hmm.
Not the people, the movement.
Well, can I just stop you there? What, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it should be BLG.
BLJ?
BLG.
Why?
No. GLB. Gay, lesbian, bisexual.
No, because that's gay, gay, gay.
Yeah.
Well, a lesbian is gay. A
But
bisexual is gay.
Transsexual is not a sexuality.
No, it's not.
And queer is redundant.
Yes. John, I think I lost your sound.
No, I just shut up for a minute.
Well, that doesn't happen often.
I know. Revel in the unusualness of it. I mean, the whole point of gay equality was to say, we don't give a shit. You just be you.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
And
sexuality is a personal thing. If you wear your sexuality as a badge of honor, you have no honor.
Yes, I'm a muppet. I know, warped. But no, I know it's like no. But here's the thing. So, I refuse to use anything after the T, even though the T itself is questionable in my opinion, because the rest of it is just bullshit. God, whose video did I say? Someone did a video and they just did a thing on. You know how like when Alicia does a list and then some of them are exactly the same thing. So it's like male to female, M2F. And they're listed as separate entries. And so they just took that to an extreme, and it was like the same things over and over, just reordered.
One of my best friends for 23 years is bi, and he did tests LGBT. Yeah, I can understand that, Renovatio. And hi there, Fangor MMC. It's always fun to see a new person. Welcome to the stream. If someone's entire identity centers around their gender, they're setting themselves up for suffering because the moment this comes under attack, it's like your entire foundation is under attack. Well, you're correct, Mr. Fangor. I think you're a Mr. I hope you're a Mr. If not, Mrs. Fangor. I don't really care that much. But you are correct. And this is the problem with the whole identity politic thing. I mean, the smaller your base is, the easier you are being rocked. And this is what we're seeing with identity politics. That's why everything is so incredibly, well, I think that's why everything is so incredibly polarized at the moment. Because as soon as you say something, it will automatically attack the very fundaments of someone's personality, which is sad.
Yeah, but here's the thing, okay? Because in my many years being the older fart, I have almost never encountered a real life conversation discussing people's identities in broad senses. ever. And I'm not saying there aren't people who do that. I'm just saying, but there are most people who don't do that. And
yeah,
sorry,
but this is somewhat the problem of identity politics, because by using identity politics, you're trying to force people to be silent and not censor certain aspects of what identity politics is trying to push.
Yeah, but the point's this. I mean, as Morgan Freeman, Saint Morgan of Freeman, said, if you want to get rid of racism, stop talking about it. And this is what winds me up with all these bloody activists, is everyone was getting along just fine, accepting everyone else just fine. Finally. Legal equality was arriving. Everyone was just getting used to it. And then they started banging on.
But that's the thing. And this is what you constantly see happening. When the more identity politics you push, the more identity politics you will get. And the more fragmented they become. Because, let's be honest, look at how fragmented the left has become in mainstream media and in online personalities, etc., etc. I mean, you have to be in favor of X, Y, and Z to be in favor of boom. Jordan Peterson once said it in that GQ interview. If I know one or two of the things you stand for, I kind of
Sam Harris said it before that.
Well, yeah, but I know it from him. So, but I'm willing to believe that other people have said it as well. But
well, no, Sam Harris actually made a video specifically on that subject.
No, and he would. I haven't seen it, but I'm willing to believe he's correct, because we have a large contingent of people who basically follow a line of thought, not based on what they believe or what they think, but on what they are being told to believe and what they're being told to think. And they dare not deviate from that path.
Well, I don't think the problem specifically is daring. The problem specifically is the network of associations and interlinking of ideas, so that people don't even think to deviate.
It's a form of self-censorship that I don't understand.
I don't understand. That's what I'm trying to say. You're assuming they want to disagree, and I'm saying the most effective method of controlling people's thoughts is to get them thinking it for themselves without deviation.
Yeah. Well, but this is what was Bezmenov? I think it was Bezmenov. This is what Bezmenov says. At a certain point in time, you get people believing black is white and white is black, and even if you come with proof, you will not be able to shake their faith. And we've definitely gone into this.
No, but here's the trouble, Modwin. That's been true of anyone who's very ideological, which in the past meant religious. Mm-hmm. Because religions were the powerful ideologies. But that's always been true. That people will deny reality because their teaching, their belief system says it can't be so. And, and these things aren't new. I mean, they're presented in a new guise, and as if they're new. That's only because people don't understand history or their own history of their own religions or whatever, which is always amusing to me.
I mean, this is kind of, well, it's on topic but different, and this might also go back to what Ludicrous said a moment ago. The Irish Prime Minister was in the gay pride. In the Netherlands, there is a politician, Henk Krol, and he is one of the main people who put the gay rights on the agenda in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point in time, I mean, if I look back at why they started, I can agree. I support what they stood for. But if I then look at what we now see with gay prides, I'm sorry, this is degeneracy.
Yeah, but the
There are
gay
gay
prides
people who
aren't
are
gay
against
rights.
that.
Gay pride is not gay rights.
No, indeed. But people conflate the two.
Well,
If you're not okay with one, then you must be against the other. There's a for the first time in 40 years in the Western world, especially in Europe, there is a decline in support for gay lifestyles.
Well, you mean the caricature gay lifestyles?
No, people are actually more likely to be anti-gay now.
Oh, well, then
And
that's not lifestyle. You said lifestyle, which is a thing.
Yeah, no, which is what people perceive it to be. Fair enough.
No, it's all right. It's just, if you mean X, you need to clarify X, and if you're saying Y, no, you mean there's a decline in tolerance of gay people, is what you're saying.
Well, there is a decline in tolerance.
Is that what you're saying? I'm asking you.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. No, they weren't. I was born in the 60s. Unless you want me to disappear in a puff of smoke, Jimmy Stiffingers.
Well, the politics of the 60s were a mistake.
No, he didn't. He said the 60s were a mistake. I'm
know.
sorry. You cannot read into it what you want.
No, I'm not reading into it. I'm merely saying that the politics of the 60s were a mistake. But not all of it. Because at the same time, I do agree with the emancipation of gay people. Personally,
that
I don't
happened
care.
later in Britain.
Well, yeah, in Britain. But it started... Actually, it started in the 60s. And then for the longest time, nothing really happened. And I think it started in the... I think it was in the 70s, half 70s, when there were...
Well, the Stonewall riots were 71.
Yeah, well, that's the one that I was going to refer to. Because that started in the 70s, and that kind of started a forest fire, a brush fire among gay people in the rest of the Western world who started organizing. And this is where the gay pride events came from. But the worst part is that the gay pride events have gone so far overboard that most gays don't identify with gay pride. And it's kind of the same way. Most gays don't identify with gay pride, but gay pride is still big.
Yes, but because it's not
Black
about
Lives Matter
gays.
movement.
It's not. Gay pride is not about gays. It's about the identity politics.
Yeah. The Black Lives Matter movement has more white supporters than black supporters. Why? Again, because of the identity of it. Leo is proving that he is only in his position to support one particular group of people he should be removed for being biased.
No, you do not defame the young ones by saying they identify with pride. Rick Mell did nothing wrong.
Who's Leo? British. What am I missing?
Leo, the Taoiseach, apologies to mispronunciation, Taoiseach of Ireland, which is their prime minister.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if he's doing it to pander, then that's a problem. But, I mean, are you going to say I'm okay with the gay lifestyle? Then, yeah, sure, I have.
Of course I take it personally, Jimmy. You're trying to eradicate a whole decade I was born during. Sorry. Please understand, Saturday night streams are not serious.
True that. You know, guys, do you want to hear something funny?
And I got to say, the 70s were pretty shit, at least in Britain. But they also had some of the best things to come out of it. So, come see, come so.
This is something I want to tell you, people. The stream has been going on for what? smaller than 15 minutes at the moment?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not really true. We've been busy for almost an hour.
Pride is a deadly sin. They should remember that.
Well, yeah, pride is a deadly sin. But anyway, the stream has been going on for nearly an hour. And most of you people have been here constantly. The average watch time is 20 minutes.
Well, Jimmy, you're a mistake then too, if your parents were by association, or no, what's the word? By consequence.
Guilt by association.
No, not associate, not guilt, by consequence. So it's like,
oh, okay.
He said the 60s were a mistake, so I'd have to disappear, right? And his parents would have to disappear. And so by consequence, he'd disappear because his parents wouldn't exist.
Well, I don't think anyone has to disappear, let's be honest.
No, he said the 60s were a mistake. So I'm sorry. All those products of the 60s were bad. Obviously. Because logic.
Well, Mycroft, I'm not understanding any of those hot stats, to be honest. It doesn't make sense. I mean, there have been a few people have been here from the very start, and then people showed up later and later and later. But most people have been here way longer than 20 minutes.
Okay,
but
Jimmy
the average
Stiffingers.
watch time is 20 minutes.
Jimmy Stiffingers, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath. These all started in the 1960s. I'm just saying.
I've seen the new setup on YouTube. What do you mean with I've seen the new setup, Mycroft?
Oh, possibly in because you were using the old thingy and not the new thingy.
Jimmy, stop feeding John. He's biting too much.
I'm not biting too much. Pink Floyd, they started in the 60s. Deep Purple.
I think he's hungry. I think he's really, really hungry.
No, I'm just taking a thread and running with it.
Uh-huh. What do you think I am? A genocidal
The old Hangouts Live is
authoritarian?
done. This is why we're using OBS and Discord. And which is why you've got a picture of my desktop over there somewhere. Over here with the mouse control.
Yeah. And we're going to figure out how to do better stuff eventually to liven up the stream a little bit. That doesn't really need livening up, but just, you know, there is that. Yeah, I was wondering why he used a purple background too, but
Black
Pink
Sabbath
Floyd.
one. Pink Floyd. Ha! Arnold Lade had a very strange habit. I will have you know, warp reflection.
What wasn't Pink Floyd the one with the what was his name?
Sid Barrett.
Sid Barrett.
Arnold Lade had a very
bike.
strange.
You can ride it
If you like it. Got a bell and things to
got
make it look good.
Make it look good. I'd give it to you if you want.
No, if I could. But
if I could. Fair enough. Well,
you're the kind of girl that fits in with my world. I'll give you
world.
anything,
I'll
everything
give you
if
anything,
you want
everything
things.
if you want thing.
Yes. That's Pink Floyd.
That's Pink Floyd. I've got. Oh no, never mind. There's a lot of music from that age. Let's be honest. Renovacio asked me, "Is Stunning and Brave?" What?
I'm laughing at his joke.
Okay. Is Stunning and Brave calling out LGBT identitarianism when it's from a country surrounded by dikes?
See, I thought it was funny.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Listen, there are lots of people in the world that can claim they own their country, but there's only one country that can claim our country is ours, and that's the Dutch, because if it weren't for us, this would all be water. There is
Classic
that.
rock sounds like an oxymoron. You mean old rock? but that's okay.
They managed to make Flight Southwest, and they already do Warped Reflection. I have you know that we can sing bloody well.
No, he can. I can't. I can't sing at all, and I've never claimed to.
So I think it's fair to say that we're no longer talking about identity politics.
Yes. Well, no, we are in a way. As everyone's got lots of identities, which was the point I tried to make, and then we got distracted.
Which is true.
And
sorry, go on.
No, and and that's everything. So that's great. We can talk about anything we want, and we're still on the subject of identity politics. We've talked about Dutch people. We've talked about Pink Floyd and the 1960s, because that's an identity. Apparently makes me a boomer, though I'm on the cusp. Because some definitions have boomers ending in 1961, which was before I was born, while others have it going all the way up into 1970, which is after I was born.
So I want to check who else is still in the chat. Because I'm really curious how YouTube is keeping up with who is and who isn't watching, because we went up from, well, we started, and within a quarter of an hour we were at,
we had 12 at one
8.
point. I saw 12.
And we had 12 at one point, but have people actually left, or are they just listening but not being active? So this is what I'm kind of hoping to find out, because if you're just listening and not being active, if you could post just, even if it's just a point or a comma, it doesn't really matter. I want to see if that influences whether YouTube think you're actually or not, because it doesn't make sense. Michael Keller is back.
Do not demand sense of computer systems.
Well, yeah, no, that's true. That is true.
It is a very first, though, Mycroft. Today is a special stream in the most trivial and irrelevant sense of we're using new software. And
I am going to... Oh, sorry.
No, and we've actually got it working, which is a damn sight more than many people seem to have managed with OBS. The number of times I've seen and someone said, "Oh, my OBS, it's a problem. Literally 5 minutes, that's all I've done with it.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm glad that John figured it out, because I couldn't. Anyway, I need a fast bio break. I'll be right back.
Oh, and now he's left me. So anyway, yes. So anyway, I just got thought of that true story about a young woman assaulted by a stranger in the street, which itself is a shocking event, that people are attacked randomly in the street for their mere existence and their apparent identity. Because if civilization is anything, it is not that. It is, you should be able to walk down the street, minding your own business, in safety and without fear of assault. And now I'm drinking some beer. I could screen share, but you would hate me. Well, Michael would. He thinks my nipples are there to oppress him. Which they probably are, to be fair.
Okay, I should be back by now.
You are back by
Sorry
now.
for that, guys. Yeah, those bio breaks are a bitch. I should have a toilet seat here. That would be silly. So, Michael, how is your roof doing, mate? Because
he wants to tear it all down.
Yeah, it's a bit silly when your roof comes. Well, not your roof, your ceiling. Let's be honest. Difference there, but still weird.
Did you see our stream on Wednesday, Mycroft, when we discussed how Marx was not a Marxist? Because other than that, I don't give a monkey's what Marxists do or do not want to do.
Well, yeah, it is. It is. Well, now there were people back then even say, well, back then and during our live stream saying, like, of course, Marx wasn't a Marxist, Christ wasn't a Christian, which is a fair argument. True that. But Marx wasn't a Marxist, not so much because he was the first or it didn't happen before him, but he was actually against what Marxists are claiming Marxism is. And that's it's mind-boggling that they still don't recognize that. But then again, that probably us.
Sorry, I'm getting very confused by the chat. I'm getting very conflicting messages. Yeah, Mycroft, if you haven't watched Wednesday stream, which is probably the only half-decent stream we've ever done, then...
That's not true.
No, but it was actually informative, focused, short, to the point.
True that. It was a good stream.
Yes, he was. And not only was a Jew, he was a proud Jew who wanted to be Jew. And then St. Paul came along and said, fuck that, we're going to go to the Gentiles instead. Which is why, as I said, on Wednesday, it shouldn't be called Christianity, it should be called Paulianity or something. Paulinism.
And Renovacio, I'd love to know who the police identified that burqa'd Muslim woman who had a go at
a brilliant clip. Have you seen it?
Yeah. It's a woman assumably a woman shouting shame, 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 shame.
No, it's a woman, and she has a proper British accent. She's not non-native.
Yeah. She is probably native, yeah.
No, she is native. You can tell. That's a natural British accent of some province or other.
But it's funny that she got identified, even though you can't see head nor tails of that woman. So I'm not sure if she actually got identified, or that this is something that the media pushes out, like, oh no. Well, we know who it was. We know who it was. We're talking to her now. Whilst in the meantime, shit all happens.
Well, she did nothing wrong. She just voiced her opinion, and I'm for free speech, so I think there's nothing wrong with her opinion.
I agree with you on that. I don't care that she was shouting shame, 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 shame. But let's be honest, even a feminist will get arrested for saying that she doesn't agree that a transgender is a woman, which is also completely fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
So this is that whole double standard thing now, isn't it?
Well, I mean, the point is it just points to the inherent contradiction in their whole message.
True.
They're saying, oh, only the white males believe things and then everyone else believes everything different. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that.
Well, Renovacio, I know that I've read that she's been arrested, but
try and prove it's her. Try and prove it's her.
Yes, I'm reluctant to believe it. Not so much that I don't want to believe it, but
she can say, right, I'll go into an identity parade. Come on, then. See if the witnesses can pick me out.
Yeah, how are they going to? I mean, well, Cognitive Thought tried to turn that show hide thing multiple times. It won't allow him to.
Turn it off.
I have no idea what you mean. I'm sorry.
That thing that occasionally pops up for the chat messages where it says show or hide. I have no idea how that works. But anyway.
Yeah, no, it's nothing up to me. So if you post something and it doesn't get broadcasted, it's not because I don't allow it to be broadcasted, unless I have explicitly said so, because I I mean, there are things that I will say, you know what, don't post that here. Like someone's telephone number or shit like
Yeah,
that.
don't dox people.
Yeah. But on average, I don't care which words you use.
Not its vagina, Jimmy, it's arse.
Well, I think not. Europa is a woman.
Yes, but it can still be the arse.
Well, it is.
Not the vagina, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but why would you remove? Why would you remove?
He's using
sand?
a metaphor.
Yeah, but why would you remove sand from a donkey?
Donkey? I said
Arse.
arse. We're not Americans. We don't spell it wrong. V-A-R-S-E. Arse.
But we do have Americans coming to watch, see what we do.
And they need to learn English. I'm sorry, I know they're educationally challenged.
Oh, such a lovely topic to get started on.
Hey, language, you know my favourite. Linguistics. The butchering done by that vandal, that linguistic heathen, Mr. Webster.
Well, that's a very fair question, Jimmy. Care to put your money where your mouth is and clean out Merkel's? Yeah, no, I'm not even going to finish it.
I can't see. Oh, there. No, I can't see that one from Jimmy. I can only see one from Michael.
Michael Keller, Jimmy, would you like to do us the honor and remove the sand from Merkel?
But you read out something I couldn't see.
Yeah, but that's what Jimmy just said. You can't see it still?
No. I've got live chat on.
Well, the stream is a lot slower.
No, I've got Jimmy's message. Europe needs to remove the sand from its vagina, or vagina. Or
yes.
whatever. Mycroft, YouTube is trying to censor messages, etc. Michael Keller, Jimmy, would you like to do us the honour and remove the sand?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, yeah, but you said Jimmy. You read a message from Jimmy.
No, I didn't read it from Jimmy. I said, yes, Jimmy, would you? As in Michael Keller said it.
Sorry, my mistake. I'm 3 beers in. It's Saturday night. It's 11:30 in proper time country. +1.
That is true.
So
John is behind.
I am. I'm very backward, mate. Very backward. But I don't care. I really do not care.
It's late. And we're old, so we need more of.
Am I okay? I haven't been okay since about the mid-70s, I think, Michael. But thank you for asking.
There was this one trip he went on, and it didn't end well.
No. It was the whole of the 1970s. Trust me. I went to school. That did not do me good things. And I had my family, so I lived in my family and went to school. And between them, it was a bit bad. And I've never been right since. I'm probably not right before then, but I've definitely not been right since.
See, now for the longest time we have 9
viewers.
You
and your disembodiment ceremonies, Michael. How can Wallace have enjoyed a Victorian disembodiment ceremony when he lived 500 years before that? Sorry.
Anyway, I want to go back to the analytics of the stream.
Bio break. So you talk data, and I'm going to the little boy's room.
And I'll talk data. I have to admit, I like it, and I can't show it to you because I don't have control over the OBS thingy. But since, let's say, 11:50, a little bit before that, but let's say 11:50, there have been 9 people on the stream, and there was a few times that there were more than 9, but on average, the last, let's say, half hour, there were at least 9 people on the stream. And I have no idea whether people are leaving or whether they're coming and going. It's so weird. It absolutely, I not that I care. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love the fact that you guys are here and you have nice interaction, but it doesn't make sense. Okay, I have done acid, weed, ecstasy, at the same time. Why would you do those things at the same time, though? And Michael Keller, because the move was made after that and didn't do the old torture method justice job.
Michael,
you're still
that movie was a work of fiction. It accredited to William Wallace many of the actions of Robert the Bruce. So, to be honest, whinging about that particular aspect of the film, kind of irrelevant. Just saying. It was a load of bollocks done by an American-Australian anti-Semite.
Yeah, the historical accuracy of the Wallace movie was it boils down to, yes, there was a war between the English and the Scots, and that's basically the end of where it's still true. Everything else isn't.
Yeah, as I say, basically, I was extolling the virtues of Robert the Bruce as a hero of the Scots to Alicia, and she was saying, "But he was the villain." I said, "No. Why do you think that?" What's that film called? Braveheart. And I said,
Braveheart, yes.
No. And then I sent her a link to William Wallace, the historical record, as opposed to the Hollywood fiction. And she's going, "Oh my God, it was all lies." Yeah, it's Hollywood. Don't get your history from media, folks. Get your history from history books.
And especially not get it from popular movies.
Yeah.
Because popular movies tend to be popular for one reason and one reason only. It tells the story people want to hear, not the people have to hear.
But yeah.
Indeed, Jimmy Stiffing is.
No, but the point was,
get in the way of a good story.
As an Englishman, I understand that Robert the Bruce is the #1 Scottish hero. Okay? Main man. And yet they managed in that film to turn him into a rubbish guy, which is not good history.
Yeah. I'm putting an Alex Jones remix in your chat right after this, Modwayne. An Alex Jones remix?
Okay.
What am I supposed to think of the Alex Jones remix? What kind of remix are you putting in the chat right after this?
It's probably Alex Jones doing some of his hyperbolic stuff all mixed up, but we don't care.
About turning the frogs gay. I love that one. I saw a clip of that one, and they made a like a house beat or something on it. Turning the freaking frogs gay, freaking frogs.
I know ludicrous. They are not the truth either, but they're a lot better than Hollywood films or other.
Well, media. Actually, the worst part is that turning the frogs gay has scientifically been proven now. So yeah, there are chemicals out there, most of which are oestrogen, but I'm not sure the English word for it. Estrogen. There's so much estrogen in our sewage water that it's actually turning the frogs gay. It's funny. No, it's not funny. It's terrible. But
no, it's way better. Better than what, Mycroft? To say it's way better is a meaningless statement without a point of comparison. We don't do that here. We don't do they spent 10 million. Yeah. Over what period? In what context. You can't just throw figures out or make these statements and assume that we're going to think anything of them.
Yes, estrogen. Thank you, Ludicrous.
Better,
Better is relative.
It is relative, but better than what?
To what though? Because being
better than being kicked to death? Yes, I'm ready to believe it's going to be better than that. Better than my favourite thing ever? No, probably not.
Yes, indeed, warped reflection. That's the funny part. Now everyone talks about how, oh, I forgot his name now. Fucking hell.
Alex Jones?
Yes, Alex Jones. Everyone's talking about how Alex Jones said that, and I've actually seen people making remarks on, oh no, Alex Jones, he's an idiot because he said this and this and this and this, and I'm like, they always come up with the turning the freaking frogs gay, and I'm like, it's proven to be correct.
I think the word. No, I think you're missing the point. The key word is they. Not the frogs gay. The key word is they. They implies conspiracy.
Yeah, but
the frogs are turning gay can be scientifically valid without a they are turning being valid.
But the fact is, well, okay. The question is, are they doing it on purpose?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
By claiming what he said, you could argue, well, he's claiming that people are doing it on purpose. Now, if that's your argument, then I'm going to say you're correct, because there's a good chance it's a side effect no one expected.
And that was my point. That was my point. People can be mocking the conspiracy theory, not the fact that it's happening.
Yeah. Now, but then mocking the conspiracy theory after it's been proven that it's the outcome of what's happening, then you could still say, well, I don't think they did it on purpose. But you can't say, look at that, he says the frogs are turning gay.
No, that's true. That's true. But as I say, you have to understand what it is they're criticising. And the key word is they, not turning the frogs gay.
Fair enough.
Because this is what happens. People turn around and say, but they are going gay. And it's like, fine. But he said they are turning the frogs gay. Which means implying an action.
Yeah. Anyway, Jim, you're correct. I don't think it's the estrogen. There are lots of endocrines that disrupt the chemicals within blah, blah, blah. I think it was the estrogen, but it's been a long time since I read the article. So I'll have to check it again. I didn't care that much because I'm willing to accept that this is the case. But other than that, it didn't hold any value to me. I mean, I feel sorry for the frogs, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. But I do know that, and this is something that I saw from sewage companies, they have a problem cleaning sewage water because once the sewage is getting filtered and et cetera, before it's being released back into the environment, so to speak, and they've basically pressed the alarm. I think it was 10 years ago already that they were unable to clean up the water enough to bring it back into the atmosphere because of the chemicals, medical chemicals mostly, like estrogen and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I don't know why Michael Kelly. No, I'm just saying, because we've got the straight parade. And they're fucking freaking out enough about a straight pride parade.
But that's another thing, though. I mean, it's stupid to say, okay, we have a pride parade, so we should have a straight parade.
No, it's not stupid. It's not stupid.
No. Yes, it is. And
it's not.
Let me point out why before you say it's not.
I'm not saying it's not an argument to you. I'm saying it's not in. That is my own opinion.
Yeah, okay, well. Okay, this is why it's stupid. Because a pride parade isn't a pride parade. It's a degeneracy parade.
Mm-hmm.
And a straight parade either is or isn't a degeneracy parade. But
You're
if
making
it
a
is,
categorization error there. Okay.
if it is going to be a degeneracy parade, no one will attend. If it isn't, then wouldn't it just be easier to say, you know what?
No, you're missing the point.
Parade,
You're missing the point. Okay. The Pride Parade is a political statement.
Yes.
It's not about what they do, it's about the statement. Okay, a celebration, an explicit public celebration of gayness. Now, as you are saying, it is entirely correct. It is also a display of degeneracy. But that is a characteristic of the particular parade, not of the event conceptually.
Well, yes.
No. Right. So, having a straight pride parade as a political statement to say, okay, you want to have an annual pride parade because you're saying we want to celebrate being gay. Fine. We want an annual parade to celebrate being straight. But there is nothing on this planet that then obligates the organisers of the straight pride to model the particular parade on the gay pride event. In fact, there is every motivation to not model the.
And this is where I'm going to say, then don't call it a straight parade.
No, because that's a political statement.
Decency parade.
No.
Yes, because then you will find that there are lots of gay people who will take part.
No,
of
I
your
understand, but that's a different argument. You are conflating the two things. You are looking at the actual degeneracy of gay pride and saying you want a parade against that. Fine, but that's not what straight pride's about. The straight pride is about the attack on straight people, and it's saying politically it's okay to be straight. And just as we saw with It's Okay to Be White, there are lots of people who are going, it's not okay to be straight. And that is the point of it.
I like your idea too, Michael. People dressed up as frogs following the gay pride parade. I don't think they will be allowed to do that.
Hoops, t-shirts, and onion rings of onions. Little racist joke there.
I don't get that one.
On bicycles, French people.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I thought French people was baguettes.
No, they're frogs. Come on!
Oh, yeah.
French people are frogs. Everyone knows that. Why haven't we got a term for Dutch people?
Sorry, why don't you have a term for Dutch people?
Yeah, we've got frogs and we've got krauts. That's about it.
Yes, but it's very difficult to capture as diverse a group as the Dutch in one word.
Because you're missing the point?
No, because we are so broad.
No, you're missing the point.
No, it's just that you're an islander and understand.
No.
Sorry. John the Bemused. 1. It was a joke. Read explanation. 2. Get some tolerance for the written word. You're being grammar Nazi.
Yes, I am a grammar Nazi, and I admit it. Have I ever denied it? I'm proud of the fact.
Yes. I know, Michael Keller. I know. And I just pull his leg. I know the French are frogs. I know.
Yes.
I know.
I was just saying, dressed in tooped shirts with strings of onions around their necks on bicycle. Is all I'm saying is how to dress as frogs.
But I was thinking as frogs, and I think the original idea of frogs was more like clown work, Pepe frogs, than French frogs. That's my idea. No, actually, before we were invaded, we were diverse.
So far we've got the Dutch alt people, and now we've got the French alt people. Can I add the Germans alt people? So that's much of Western Europe already eradicated.
I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Right, what reflection wrote French aren't people? Earlier, Mycroft Holmes wrote the Dutch aren't real, or something to that effect. And I'm saying the Germans aren't people. So there you go. And so we got France, Germany, and the Netherlands. So that's much of Western Europe we can eradicate, is all I'm saying.
And then there is this meme about how Belgium isn't a country. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of two.
Anywho, do we have a lot more to go on?
Well, I always manage to trigger Michael Keller without even trying. First was a joke, weird explanation. I'm not quite sure which you meant first. Anyway.
My dad stole a bike when he was stationed in Germany. He got one of your bikes back. What? Honestly. Oh, I got a show height thingy.
Yeah, again, after 8 pints, we Irish don't know what the fuck we are. Trust me, it's the same in England, Renovatio.
No, in England it's with 6.
Oi. How would you know?
Well, I've met lots of English abroad, so to speak.
Yeah, but they don't drink pints when they're abroad, so how do you know?
I worked in how do you call it? I worked in at a bar, at a disco.
Yeah,
and we
selling
did,
in litres.
No, we did have pint glasses.
Really?
Don't ask me why, but we did.
The Dutch are dramatic, and Dutch and Deutsch are of the same root, Jimmy.
A lot of Dutch people like Merkel and her politics. I don't think that's actually true, Warped. The media will tell you that a lot of people like the left-wing ideas, obviously, because that's what the media does. But I don't think a lot of Dutch people are in favor of what Merkel has done.
No.
And
the media lies, is what he's saying. The media lies.
Yeah. I
don't believe
think
a word.
So. Don't believe the hype. It's a sequel.
No, don't believe a word.
Does audio work for you? I see a desktop clock changing, but I hear nothing. That's weird.
I think it's your problems, Michael. You mentioned not hearing me properly earlier. Well, and you're below sea level, Jimmy. You're down to earth and below sea level.
Yes.
It's just in Switzerland. We are centered in Switzerland, guys and gals.
Well, Warped, I'm not going to dismiss the fact that there are Dutch people who are accepting of Merkel. I don't think it's the majority. But then again, the Netherlands, politically speaking, the Netherlands are rather broad. And the left is doing everything they can to polarize everything they can, just as they are doing everywhere else in the world. They aren't as successful in the Netherlands yet, I think.
Well, it's very hard to actually know what people actually think. We hear a lot about what people think, but we don't know whether any of it is anything more than something pulls out of their rectum.
True that. But as Jimmy Stifffinger says, we do have a saying, and I don't know why he said do normal. The saying is act normal. In Dutch, it's doe normaal, so that's probably why he said do.
Well, there you go. That might be why he said it.
Yeah. But it's more like act normal.
Who could behave. Love that old Stasi hag?
Hey?
Well, reflection, no, not just accepting, they love her. And I said, who can love that old Stasi hag?
Yeah, I'm. When they say they love her, I'm sorry, but that's definitely a minority. No way that Merkel is being loved by Dutch people.
You know, Michael Keller says being given a wrench, it sounds like he was sexually assaulted.
that crazy Dutchman.
Does it? It sounds like he was assaulted, doesn't it?
I think I shouldn't have taken away the wrench though, because after I took away the wrench, your roof came down, mate. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it definitely causality there. And we can find 100 conspiracy theories to swear on oath.
Prove it. Yeah, no, I know it's a literal translation, but there. Sorry, Jimmy is responding to me with when I say "do normal" is act normal. Act means behave. It's a literal translation,
but do also means behave in English.
Yeah, but it also means, but you don't say "do normal," you say "act normal." So behave normally.
I can just say,
do
Jimmy,
normal.
Sometimes it's best to translate literally. Sometimes it's not.
And in this case, it's not.
Idiom is difficult in another language.
It's the same as like saying that in the Netherlands we can say, for example, that someone lives in a very big house, and then we say een kast van een huis. But if we would translate it, that would be a chest of a house, which doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, and if you say big house in America, it means prison.
Prison?
No, it is. That's what they call a big house.
I know.
Yeah.
It's true. Languages are a great way to communicate.
It doesn't have to make sense in English. Well, not much does, Jimmy. Not much does.
Language is a great way to communicate with each other, but you kind of do need the same language.
Yeah, and even then it only works half the time.
Yeah, true that. True that. He did not give consent for that wrench. Yeah, I know he didn't.
And he says, true that what? Yeah. And I did warn him before times. I said he wouldn't like it.
Well, he did type no, but that no came in after I've already done it.
No, but I said before you did it, he wouldn't like it.
Yes. Well, I'm, how do you call it? I'm a dominatrix. I can't even say that without laughing. So, we're here for you, Michael. This is a safe space.
It's raining steel pipes. Well, we say cats and dogs. I don't think steel pipes is any worse than cats and dogs.
No, but in Dutch you will say it's raining steel pipes by saying it's...
Yeah, we'll say cats and dogs.
We don't translate that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying steel pipes isn't worse than cats and dogs. Is what
we
I'm
have
saying.
Weird sayings. No, that's the thing, though, Jimmy. Right. We all have weird sayings. That's the whole idea about weird sayings. Are you assuming my gender, Michael Keller?
I always make Michael feel unsafe, especially when I try to make him feel safe and I try to be friendly. He just gets the umbrage, and I get upset because I just want to be nice. It's raining Johns. No, never been that bad, Mycroft. Never been that bad. It's raining boats. Yeah, well, it would do in a landlocked country because boats would be dead weird.
But they do have rivers and all that, and
lakes,
channels.
lots of lovely lakes. But you know what I mean.
Lakes as well, but they do transport stuff over water, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And then you said that it's supposed the wife of.
I don't really know much about this, but isn't there supposed to be a male and a female form of the word?
I think it's the same word, though.
No. I think there's a male and a female form.
Dominator, dominatrix. Okay, fair enough. I can live with that.
I don't know. Dominatrix. So the world can see this now. Is a woman. A dominatrix is a woman. So you are a woman. Modwen has just come out, guys, as a woman.
I have breasts, so that is possible. Merely saying. Can you imagine, Mycroft? You wanted to have Kraut over as well. Well, not on the Saturday stream, on the Wednesday stream.
As you may imagine, scrolling down, there's lots of videos on various dubious sites to do with what is a male dominatrix called? That's on Yahoo Answers.
So what is a male dominatrix called?
No, it just said upload failed. Please load.
Right. If someone demands you use their personal pronoun, always refuse and say you will dictate a personal pronoun for them. I don't understand that one. I mean, I agree that you don't need to use personal pronouns. Don't care about them anyway. But, yeah. He'll do it, I'm sure.
Oh, piss off. You try
listen,
no, sorry. I was talking to Yahoo.
Yes. But, Mycroft, I'm perfectly all right to have a chat with Kraut as well. I mean, he's still bigger than I am in his channel, which is...
bloody typical. Women have got a single name and the men it's all meh. Bloody typical.
John?
I wasn't going for Pornhub. I was using Go.Go. Go.Go, for fuck's sake.
Listen, people, we're all adults.
Michael Keller has got Pornhub on the brain. First, he saw a link that does not exist on my desktop to Pornhub. Now, I search into DuckDuckGo, see, DuckDuckGo, and it comes up with various answers, some of which are Pornhub, and they are the answers I have not clicked upon. The only one I've clicked upon, in purple, Yahoo Answers. And I said, what a surprise. They are coming up with lots of porn sites.
Captain Michael Keller? Well, I don't care if it's if it's sexist. My pronoun is master. I've stated it before. Say it again. I actually made a video about how my pronoun is master. Whenever I go to New York, which probably won't happen anytime soon, but if I am there, my pronoun is master, and if people don't abide by my pronoun, I'll sue them and become rich.
So, Slate, we all know that wonderful bastion of leftist propaganda. How does a male dominatrix work?
See, that is dominatrix for male as well.
No, but it says male dominatrix, not a dominatrix.
Yes, so you have a male dominatrix
they have
and a
to
female
qualify
dominatrix.
it. No, dominatrix is assumed female. They have to qualify it. Like male nurse, because nurse is assumed female.
Yeah, but that's because the word is without gender.
No, it's not. It's the opposite. It has gender, and so you have to qualify it for only half the population.
So it's driver or female driver?
Driver of what?
Well, driver of a car or a bus.
No, a driver's a driver. It doesn't assume a gender. If you say a lorry driver, you do not know the sex of the driver.
Hence, dominatrix is the same thing.
No,
But to make
all
clear
the
that they're talking
definitions
about
I
male,
brought up, all the definitions I brought up said female as part of the definition.
that's not my fault.
Yes, but you're arguing the toss against all the definitions.
But then if you look at driver, then they will say, well, most drivers are male, therefore
doesn't
male.
matter. It does not inherently in the word assume a sex. Whereas they are saying in the definition that the word dominatrix assumes a sex.
Yeah, but that's
No, not that. But
identity politics.
it's not identity politics. It's linguistics.
I
Jesus
only
wept.
talk, by the way. I said hi to Anatak. You should do the same. Yeah.
Yes, and I am not someone with instant reactions. I had to switch from that screen to this screen. And then I have to talk to bloody Modway being a pain in the arse. Figuratively, not literally. We will say that for our younger
as I
viewers.
have a master's, I could demand to be called master too. If someone with a PhD can be called a doctor.
No, a doctor is a PhD. That's what it means.
Yes, but
that's what the D of
PhD
means.
If you have a master in science, for example, does master become before PhD and after bachelor?
Can't
remember.
You can go straight from bachelor to PhD. You don't have to have a master. It's a level above.
So master is above bachelor, right? Okay.
But it's sort of like slightly to the side. If you're going straight for a doctorate, you wouldn't bother with a master's degree. So it's sort of like you have a bachelor degree, and then you can go to a master's, or you can go to a doctorate. So they're sort of like forks in the road. But the master's degree that I encountered were 1 year, whereas a PhD is at least 4. So they are very different scales of magnitude.
But a bachelor is 1 year and a master depends.
No, a bachelor's is 3 or 4 years, depending on your country. The master's was 1 year, and the PhD
no, you can do a bachelor in 1 year as well.
Not on the course I did.
Okay, but you can be a bachelor on psychology, for example, within a year.
Yeah, it's above honours degree, below PhD. This is what we're saying. No, you literally couldn't on the course I did.
No, I believe that's true on the course you did. I'm not doubting that, but.
And if you were to do it in a year, you'd have to have massive pre-qualifications. Because it's all about a whole set of achievements during a period, which cannot be done in 1 year.
I have to start doing stuff anyway. My educational prospects are bad. I need to work on. No, not so much my prospects, my outcomes. My friend did his master's in a year.
Why would you lower yourself to becoming a doctor in women's studies? You know that they extract intelligence in that course. They don't add it. You don't learn things. You become more stupid. It has actually been verified that the reading level of graduates of a lot of American colleges goes down after 3 years of higher education. I don't care.
I'm sorry,
Michael, I'm sorry, I don't care.
What do you mean an attack? Hort science? Horticultural or typo? Are you doxing yourself? I can't
Yeah,
see.
no, there was a browser tab with my name on it, but I don't care.
Oh, okay. Yes, it's an easy PhD, but it's absolutely useless. There's a reason why people call it a PhD in basket weaving.
Yeah.
So warped, I wouldn't go there.
Easy pitch. You get to be a doctor. Yeah, like Christy Winters, otherwise known as a moron.
Now, John, that's not nice. There are really good behaved morons out there.
Yes, I know.
They
I
are
know. I
not
was
all
not
Christy
nice
Winters.
to morons in that. No, I was not. That's all right, Michael. I do appreciate the thought, but I don't really care. Besides which, the 10 people who are ever going to watch this aren't exactly a problem. And most of them that actually know who I am anyway, through one means or another.
Now, would we ever break in big and start having millions of subscribers? Then
I'll quit.
No,
I will.
Because then we can charge people.
No.
Make the big money.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, I'm only dreaming.
What is horticulture? The growing of plants, isn't it?
No, that wasn't you.
No,
We
I
were
didn't
talking
put
about
you
warp
on the
reflection
same
there,
level, Michael Keller.
Michael.
I put warp reflection on the same level. Potentially.
Jimmy.
Christy Winters.
Chrissy Winters is intelligence. Don't underestimate her. I'm going to say she's
an overeducated shithead.
She isn't really intelligent. She can come across smart, but she can't think outside of the box. And this is one of the first things intelligent people should be able to do. So I'll admit that she has a doctorate. I admit that she's educated, but I don't see her as intelligent.
Well, it depends what you mean by intelligent. Educated means book smart. Intelligent means know what the fuck anything is.
Why are you a moron, Michael?
I want to see old fart and older fart live on stage. Really? Dream on. Dream on, mate. Dream on.
That's going to be very difficult, considering we're both
in different countries, and I won't leave the house.
In different countries. We were talking last time where we would like to live.
And Michael Kelly, you can call yourself what you like. I will never call you a moron. But the point is, we were talking about useless doctors with useless doctorates. Are you a doctor, Michael?
Well, definitely not in women's studies, are you? Because that's the one we were talking about.
No, but it doesn't have to be women's studies. It could be racial studies. Any identity studies, to be honest.
True that.
Sociology, unless you actually...
No. There is use in sociology.
I said unless you can actually use statistics. Just a ferry ride away. We've got a tunnel, don't you know?
She's a professional postmodernist. She'll pick your arguments apart. Don't underestimate her. I understand what you're saying, Jimmy.
But she's still a moron.
No. She is a postmodernist. And she'll pick your arguments apart not so much because she makes sense, but because she deflects strawmans and what's the third one? Argumentum absurdum. She pulls what you said into the absurd and then makes that the norm. She is absolutely unnuanced when it suits her. So I seriously don't consider her smart or intelligent. She is educated. Now, I don't have to worry. She'll never talk to me anyway. But
she talks to V. And Jimmy has an in because he's a moderator on these live streams.
He is what?
A moderator on these live streams.
Oh, okay, cool. Could you get V to come over on our streams once?
I like Romanians, by the way. I think they're lovely people. I've never met a Romanian I haven't liked, and
I like V.
I've met a lot of Romanians. I work with a lot of them. They're all lovely people. Great, a lot of time for Romanians. Now I need biology.
Selectively ignorant of other statements. Yeah, I think that's a good explanation there, Anitak. I can't even get V to come on the Discord. Your own Discord or his own Discord. Well, I hope he'll be okay. And no, I don't do identity politics, so no, not all Romanians are awesome, but I do like V. John loves them because he doesn't have to. Yeah, he's not responding right now because he's AFK, I think. Well, I like his work.
Oops. Back again.
No, he didn't break up with Sargon. I like, this is what I like. V actually does agree and disagree with Sargon. And Sargon agrees and disagrees with other people as well, without losing interest in each other. To me, that is what it means to be intelligent. You can entertain the stances, the ideas, the points of other people without
freaking out and
dismissing them.
Old ape shit on them.
Yeah. And I know you're joking, and attack, but this is why I don't consider Christy Winters intelligent. She's book smart, and she's not even book smart. She's educated, as John pointed out, way better than I did now. But as soon as you come up with anything that you disagree with, she will block you. She will disown you, so to speak.
Well, I've also heard her sophistry, but the arguments of using sophistry in various times, and they're just so piss poor because she is of one with her cronies like Music Man Mike and Demotivator Tim and all those, in that they will constantly accuse other people of doing the very thing that they are literally in the act of doing.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because some time ago, and 1 or 2 years ago, I had a live stream with Chrisiosity about certain aspects within male-female situations and why male suicide is so high, how feminism isn't a good idea, how you can actually see a difference between a male and female brain, all these things past the thingy. Now, before we went on the live stream, we had a small pre-stream talk, and basically we agreed, or she asked me to agree, and I agreed, that we don't dismiss out of hand, and we don't say stuff like, oh, can you prove this? Can you prove that? Because that would kind of kill the stream, which I agreed to because, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm going to assume that when we talk in honesty, and you may say stuff that I don't know, and I may say stuff that you don't know, but let's assume we don't lie to each other. And then basically she dismissed half of what I said because it didn't fit her story. And I criticized her. I criticized her a few times. Criticized. I asked questions a few times on Twitter, and then she blocked me. And that's how these people roll. Oh no, we're very open. We're very friendly. We're willing to listen to you, willing to talk to you, but as long as you say what we want to hear, because as soon as you don't, the conversation is over.
I think, can I say something that might be mitigating for said person?
Yeah, sure, go on.
It's just that sometimes, especially if you get involved in a lot of online debates, it can get very tiring and very foreboding to think, oh my God, I'm going to enter into another debate where it's essentially you're wasting your time. There's no useful exchange of information, no useful belief of the other person's point of view. Just end up in mudslinging. Now, I am not saying that said Ms. Winters is always accurate in her predictions, but I can understand the fact that she might go, oh my God, another person wanted to take me on. I can't face it.
Well, I can understand that too. The funny thing was, and I haven't spoken to Miss Winters, so I can't talk about her, but I spoke to Christiosity. And the idea was, what can we do? Because she recognized the problem, for example, that male suicide, she does recognize male suicide as a problem. She doesn't understand where it comes from. So that's what we talked about, and how there is definitely a difference between male, female, etc., etc., etc. And she dismissed it out of hand because it didn't fit her narrative. And to me, I can't understand that you say, okay, I want an open and fair discussion and blah, 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 and let's be fair and nice, etc., etc., etc. And I agree with all of those points. And then when push came to shove, she basically did what she didn't want me to do to her.
Yeah.
And therein lies the biggest problem. I'm not afraid that I'll ever have a discussion with Christy Winter. Not because I fear that she might own me or anything. There's plenty of things she might be correct in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid I'll never have a discussion with her because she will never have an open discussion with people like me.
There is a degree, though, no offense, but there is a degree to which there is such a chasm in our fundamental worldviews. And it's, I really do wonder. So, for instance, I don't know if she's still here, but Daisy Pumpkin was in the chat earlier, and Daisy Pumpkin identified as a feminist, and I've had lots of conversations with her. We haven't necessarily agreed. But she hasn't been a dyed-in-the-wool, fully signed up intersectionalist either.
Yeah.
And if she was, I'm not sure I would have bothered, because it's like they're too far away. Their worldview, their assumptions are so different from mine, you have no common basis upon which to talk. Whereas you can disagree fundamentally in all kinds of things, but still have the same underlying understanding of reality. And that isn't true. You can't just pick two people at random and know that is true, because sometimes it's not.
Yes. Well, there's another thing, and this is probably also the reason why I will probably never have a talk with people like Christy Winters. There's a reason why they attacked Sargon. There's a reason why they attacked Bering. They had huge channels. It was clickbait. Them having a discussion with me, yeah, well, my channel has like 600 subscribers, of whom 30 are active. Obviously, there's no need to have a discussion with me. I don't represent anyone according to them.
Yeah, but I mean, technically, whenever you talk to anyone, you only represent yourself, and anyone only represents themselves.
True.
And part of the fundamental problem with the likes of Christy Winters and her ilk, when they were attacking Bering in particular, was because he had a lot of followers, they were ascribing to him the actions of people who were sub to him. Well, I'm sorry, you can't do that. You can't say, oh, you did a video on me, then lots of people are coming over and attacking me. Well, yeah, because I've seen a video where you were a twat. That is what will happen when there's a video where you are a twat. People will come over and be mean to you because you're a twat.
You're a twat, yeah.
Okay, but you can't blame the person for pointing out you're a twat. You can only stop being a twat. You know, it's like...
I made a video about that. I think the nickname we gave the dude was Hamster, which isn't nice because there's another guy online who calls himself Hamster as well, James Maxwell, but he wasn't back then. So yeah, Music Man Mike is a perfect example of ideological driven person. The points they make are correct.
Classic example of a moron. Him and Tim, two morons.
Yeah. I mean, they're completely ideologically driven, and any counter argument they will refute.
Yeah.
Not by countering them, but by merely saying, "Oh no, that's not true."
Hey, it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Sorry. Couldn't resist. It's a habit. That's a problem. It is a habit. And it's very difficult sometimes to listen to an argument, formulate a considered opinion, because that takes time. You can't do it just instantly on the main, right? It takes time to actually consider what's said, especially if there's any novelty about it that you don't understand. And so, you know, it's like if you're in an online situation where speed of response, because that, you know, there is a currency to that, to speed of response, which I think is inverted. A good response takes time, but the perception is often that a good response is instant. Well, no, because you need time to think and consider and evaluate and be considered in your response. But if you engage in something with the mindset, oh, I've got to immediately oppose this person because they're a bad person, because they're an anti-feminist and feminism is good, which is the whole line of logic.
And in all fairness, this is something that I said many times before, and I'll probably repeat it many a time. There are lots of good ideologies, philosophies, etc., 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 etc. There are. I'm not going to say they're bad, but any ideology that is unable to be critical about itself or accepting of being criticized is authoritarian. And being authoritarian is per definition a bad thing. I mean, for example, I love the works of Thomas Sowell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always agree with him, but I know he's an economist. To me, he's a philosopher. He is one of the smartest minds of our current.
For some of us, philosopher is a dirty word.
You broke up, mate.
Philosopher is a dirty word.
Well, I don't think it per definition should be a dirty word, but I can understand why.
Should.
Yeah.
Definitely be a dirty word. I don't like it. And I'm not alone.
But anyway, to me, he's a brilliant man. That doesn't mean I 100% agree with him. But it means that he's a smart man. And I have the feeling that if I were to talk to him and I would have criticism, I could raise criticism with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, whether I'm right or wrong is absolutely not of import. You should be able to disagree with each other. And this is where the authoritarians don't understand. And this is why certain philosophies, and feminism is a philosophy, people, why these philosophies are really bad for our society. They drive the whole concept of authoritarianism once again.
Yeah. But authoritarians naturally drive the agenda. That's their thing, their shtick.
Mm.
Because in a world where you've got people who are like, yeah, whatever, you've got people who are like, no, it's got to be like this. It's the people who go, no, it's got to be like this, who get the...
John, you broke up again, mate.
probably for the best. I was going a bit mad. I was saying
Nothing new there,
that
then.
you've got authoritarians who are going, no, it's got to be like this. And they're the ones who get to dominate the narrative because the bossy and dominant twats get to dominate the narrative. That's just the way it works.
Well, there's an old saying. I'm trying to remember how to translate it in English or think about how. In the Netherlands, there's this old saying that says, "Who writes stays." Doesn't make that much sense in English, but in Dutch you say, "Wie schrijft, die blijft." And basically, when you write things down, your ideas remain. And another thing is, hij die stelt bepaalt. So he who stelt. How do I translate stealth? He who defines something. I think defining is not the right translation, but as good as one I can get. He who defines decides the narrative.
Well, we used to say, he who sets the fucking teeth. He who sets the agenda.
Yeah, I can. Yes, he who sets the agenda, but I don't hear anything after.
No, I just said that. I didn't say anything after.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, he who sets the agenda.
I know, but I
decides
didn't
what's being
understand
talked
it,
about.
Jimmy. I don't do computer games, so I don't get the joke.
We're not going to play Minecraft together.
Yeah, but he says I don't do computer games. I say I don't do computer games. He says it was a joke. But
Yeah,
I don't get the joke because I don't do computer games.
I do computer games, but I don't do Minecraft. So there is that. But considering we've been at it for
2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yes, with an average watch time of 31 minutes, which is amazing considering some people have been. Never mind. YouTube doesn't make sense.
Well, we had a visitor.
We have a visitor?
Yeah, we had that guy come in and say a few things and bugger off again.
That's true. And not everyone was here constantly. I mean, we had
your
a short period
Jimmy,
of time.
Your craft. I hope it's good.
Minecraft?
Yeah, his craft.
Oh, right. Silly Jimmy. Jimmy, don't be silly.
Oh, I think if he wants craft, he can have it.
It's not Mindcraft, it's Minecraft.
I was watching this video by Philosophy.
Oh, God.
No. Nodway.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Ludicrous Leprechaun wrote Social Justice is written by the victims. And I was watching this video by Philosophy Tube. And it was all about Antifa. And the twat, and that's being nice to him, complete douche, was giving all kinds of apologism for Antifa. And he even said that politics is about the victims. And he tried to justify why that was a good thing. How identifying with people on their vulnerabilities was better than what they can do for society. And that is why our societies are doomed. Because you've got twats like that influencing people. Sadly.
Anyway, Vogon poetry.
Yes.
I have to admit, Michael Keller, I'd like to have the idea of Vogon poetry.
You like the idea of Vogon poetry only as a torture for feminists.
Well, it's a torture device anyway.
Yeah.
But other than the movie, I've never heard Vogon poetry.
Apart from the movie. Which one?
Well, any of them anyway. I mean, it comes back in all of them.
And you were telling me how different they all were. I don't know.
Well, they are, but the concept of Vogon poetry comes back in all of them.
Well, it doesn't come back in all of them. It is in all of them.
Well, fair enough.
Remember, I am the grammar Nazi. Yeah, you are speaking the English properly.
I think this is, well, the example of Vogon poetry I can find online comes from the last movie, I think.
Well, it should be from the first radio series because that's where it was. But anyway, not important.
Well, actually, it's the same poem.
Yes.
They used in the series and in the movie.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy Walk Reflection. Vogons were an evil race of bureaucrats hired to destroy the Earth to make way, ostensibly, for a hyperspace bypass, though really to stop the organic computer that was the Earth from revealing the question to the answer of life, the universe, and everything. 5 minutes before it was due to give a readout.
Yeah. Ah, geek shit. Yes, geek shit. Pah.
Yes. And Douglas Adams was one of the greatest authors who's ever lived. And Modwayne is a heretic on this.
No, I'm not. I merely see the truth.
That's what I said.
But you're still caught in the totalitarian belief of your ideology.
Yes. That Douglas Adams was a great author and a genius.
And that's why he wrote the same book several times.
He deliberately wrote the same story, not book, story several times in different versions. But here's the point. Lots of it has entered into our modern culture. If you've ever heard of the website Babelfish, that is a Douglas Adams.
Yes, not a Terry Pratchett.
No,
that's true. And 42, let's be honest, the answer to everything, 42, comes across in a lot of places as well. Don't forget your towel, guys. Towel day is coming up soon. Don't forget your towel. These are all things that come back in our culture. Ish.
The last episode. That was at the end of series 2. They made 5. It carried on after that, Michael. But not in TV. They only made 2 series on the TV. Anyway, you were trying 10 minutes ago to say goodnight.
Yeah, that's like half an hour ago. Nah, that's not. 15 minutes? 15 minutes ago.
I've got the first 3 series of the radio series, Michael, on DVD.
Anyway, people, I'd like to thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoyed our first new set it up hangout. That's
Yes, we made 2 hours, 15 minutes without too many technical difficulties.
Yeah. See, we should tell the people at Honey Badger Radio how it's done.
No, I think you and I are both running over fibre, or as I call it, cable, and they're not. I think the fact that Discord is a sensitive bugger to line conditions matters.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And
we still have
indeed, don't
dropouts.
panic. Anyway, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. There will be no after stream because there is no stream in Hangout anymore. But for the people who really enjoyed and would like to come and talk to us afterwards, you can always come to our Discord server. And the Discord server is called Modwayne's House of Fun.
Where there'll be an after stream, despite him saying there won't be an after stream.
Well, there won't be one anyway. But if you would like to come, I'll post it on the thingy-my-bobby. There is an invite to the Modwayne House of Fun Discord server thingy.
For both of you who aren't already members.
Yes, for the one that isn't there yet. I know. If you want to join us there, you're more than welcome. And I'd like to thank you all for coming.
Well, yes, Michael. But the thing is, this is the first attempt we have had, and Saturday is just week 2. And on Wednesday, we can attempt with more than 2 people in the Discord.
Yeah,
but
that is
not
true.
where we are at the minute.
And yes, I know it sounds like a brothel, Michael, but it's kind of like
it's a madness song
to the live stream.
It's a madness song.
Well, yeah, that too. But the original live stream on my channel was called Modwayne's House of Fun.
Yeah.
So,
which was a madness song, House of Fun.
Which is, House of Fun is a madness. That is true. Anywho, thank you all for coming. I hope to see you all Wednesday when we're going to talk about, I don't know yet what, but there's going to be something. And please let us know.
Even better, if any of you would like to talk about something, why don't you suggest it?
Oh, that's true. You can suggest topics. You can even come along and play along with them. Oh, no, this is more something for the future. Anitak, I am curious if you're still listening, how the things are doing with now I forgot his name. Brian? Ah, fucking hell. See,
Cottrell.
I'm getting too old for this shit. Cottrell. Anyway, people, thank you all for coming. And I hope to see you all next week. It was great fun to have you here. And I'd like to thank you for coming. Bye-bye.